Hi, everybody. Welcome to Outside the Sanctuary. So I hope everybody's enjoying themselves. I know we are.
Oh, yeah.
My name is Bill Merkh, and I have 3 guests today. One you've already met, but we are actually, we have the children of Vince and Greta McDonald. So let's go around, introduce yourself, say who you are. I don't care. So go ahead, go first. I don't care.
All right. I was the oldest, Vince McDonald Jr.
Heir of the throne.
Heir of the throne.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's his whole. I'm Deanna Kranefeld.
I'm Natalie Ostrander, the youngest.
There we go.
Mhm.
So we got the 3 kids. So today our topic is basically just a fun topic of talking to pastors' kids and what you guys go through.
Oh, boy.
But here's the fun part of it. I want to ask you guys to be a little vulnerable because that'll make a better podcast. And that's really all I care about. If you guys just shut up, then it won't be a good podcast and it'll
Fair
be
enough.
really, really short.
Fair enough.
The podcast is just all cut edits.
Yeah, right.
We have nothing else.
That's exactly what that was the plan. So let's start out. So your dad's been the pastor your entire lives, correct?
Not mine.
My
Natalie's,
entire life.
Natalie's, yeah.
Yeah, I would say
actually-
probably mine, but just he was at Faith Baptist when I
Okay.
was born. Yeah.
So
Do you remember a time where he wasn't a pastor?
Yes. I have some memories I have like very slight memories of when he would take me into, I should say once, because I don't want to speak. I remember one memory of him taking me into the office of Transalrap
Okay.
Oh,
when he was
really?
not, yeah.
Oh, I never knew that.
Well, now
Of
you know.
Transal
Yeah, I
Rap.
know.
So you were the Transal Rap.
Actually, he might correct me that it wasn't Transalrap. I'm trying to remember which one it is, but it was an office where he was not the pastor.
He was
I remember,
he wasn't pastor.
I
of the
remember,
office.
Pastor.
I remember meeting. Yeah, it was not pastor of the office.
Isn't
Or
pastor-
they might have called him pastor of the office. I don't know.
Oh, this guy's always talking about
Yeah,
Jesus.
this guy
Pastor
should be
of
a
the
pastor.
office.
This pastor.
Okay, but basically your entire life,
Basically.
if
Yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
remember that. So what was it
Mine
like?
was even of Emmanuel. He
Your
started
entire life
Emmanuel
of
before
Emmanuel.
I was even born.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. That's pretty cool.
So really
Now,
fun experience.
so growing up, and he tells all these stories, like a billion stories about you guys. I probably know more about you guys than I should.
Probably.
But how do you guys feel about that when he talks about your childhood? I mean, Deanna's thrown bread at a thing. Like, I've heard these stories.
Stole cigarettes.
Yeah,
I
right?
was like 4 or something.
Yeah, right. We've heard all your evil doings.
Well,
Maybe not all of them.
I would say the evil doings, but he does the safe ones.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, when there's stories of you as a kid, it's like I don't even remember them. There's no anyone could laugh at a story of what a kid did.
Right.
So there's it's not like as embarrassing.
Right. Well, now he's moved on to your
To the
kids.
grand,
Yeah,
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 now it's our
exactly.
kids, yeah.
It's cute when it's Deanna throwing a roll when she's a kid, but when she
Right.
threw the brick at that one guy when she was a
Couple
teenager,
years ago.
yeah.
6 years ago.
Wow. So we're learning new things. No.
She was on parole.
Yeah.
And Natalie's wearing a shirt with all evil people
all-
on it from Star Wars.
In fact, she wore it and
knew.
said, "I hope everybody sees." The
Oh,
shirt that I
no.
No, that is not
You
true. That is
guys.
not true. So going through, are all the stories 100% accurate? Does he embellish? What is it?
No, I feel like they're accurate. I mean, sometimes I feel like he gets. I mean, they're accurate. Whether it's like 100%, like
He's
to
never
the-
making up
He's
a
never
story.
making something up. Sometimes, like when he reiterates something, it's not like precisely maybe how
and
it was said.
usually
But
that's because it's his memory.
Right,
And
yeah,
often he'll, if he can't remember, like there have been times, even now, he might text and ask, like, did it happen like
Mhm.
this?
Mhm.
And just to confirm.
or even to like concise
Yeah.
the story. So
Yeah.
it's not like 5 minutes
Yeah.
long. It's
Yeah.
like a minute long.
Yeah.
You know, just kind of like get to the root of what the point was.
Yeah, and sometimes I'd be curious because I think some of the stories, like if he's not actually that, but if he is telling a story in the sermon and he might be telling it of Natalie, but it was actually Deanna. Sometimes I think those are like the last minute in the moment he thinks to tell them versus like one that he's
that he's
planned.
actually planned. Yeah.
Honestly,
For
the
the
ones
long.
he usually, if he does get something wrong, it's usually like a story of like something that happened in a movie. Like it's not even usually like us.
Right.
He usually gets the memories of his kids, right?
Yeah.
It'll be like him referencing a scene in a show or a movie that I'll be sitting there thinking, oh, that's not exactly.
It's like key lines.
It's a little different.
I said, The Last Samurai. The guy says, perfect. And my dad would try and quote it and go, beautiful.
Stuff like that.
Not
Just a
right.
little bit.
Not right, wrong.
Yeah.
That
So,
we make fun
so
of.
was it tough growing up in the church with everybody's eyes on you? Oh, now we got deep. I got deep quick.
Yeah, you
No,
jumped.
That's a good one. I was prepared for that one.
Yeah,
for
good.
sure.
I would rather hear theirs first before. I feel like it's
Wow, you're the worst.
Why am I the worst? The girls have a whole. I feel like girls will have a whole different story than what I
But
would.
I also
Okay.
feel like we had
I mean,
I would say we probably do have a lot of these questions, I feel like we may have different responses than Vince would.
Yeah, it makes
Being
sense.
the oldest, being a boy, being, I mean, I don't feel like,
there is also a fact of like growing up in like there's nothing to hide. I was born. Do you know what I mean? So there's almost a part of like we didn't just come in and now it's like who are these? Even though yes, maybe there's eyes. There's eyes on. It's a small enough church too that like there's eyes on everyone. Like I don't think I ever grew up feeling like oh everyone's watching me. Like it wasn't that.
No,
I don't think, and this might sound funny, like I don't think our heads even were that
no.
inflated. I don't think even mom or dad or like my parents ever mentioned it, even as in like, there was never a, you better be good because everyone's watching you. That was never said. And I think that actually was really beneficial because then nothing was a show. Nothing was fake. I mean, obviously there's like, be nice kids. Like that's, they care about our behavior, but there was never like a, hey, we're once we step into church, you better be like, there was none of that.
No, but I can remember, and maybe it was when I was older that I had, like, I can, my dad felt like he could rationalize with me this sense of like, do that, like, I need you to not do this or to do this for me, like for him, but not in like a selfish way. Like I think he actually mentioned on one of the podcasts before.
He did.
When I think I just graduated high school and wanted to get my nose pierced. And
I know. I was so disappointed in you.
Everybody was.
it was like, I
It was
can't
a big
believe
moment
it.
at Emmanuel Baptist Church.
But he was like, wait until you go away to college.
Yeah. They won't see
As
it there.
opposed to, I went to Baptist Bible College. You
probably got
Every Baptist
more
girl had
shame
their
there.
more
She probably had more shame there than at our church.
Yeah, this is the truth. No, but I just remember it. Yeah, just that idea of, it's he had no problem with it, but at the same time, knowing, you don't want to be a stumbling block or you don't want to be, and for him, the relationship I had with him, it was like, well, if he's asking this of me, there's nothing like absolutely like there's nothing in me that would be like I'm gonna do it at like no, just the relationship that he always cultivated with us. It was the sense of if he's even when we were little, I can remember him saying like I was running through the church or something, and me saying like, well, the other kids are doing it, and him saying to me like, okay, but like this kid over here isn't allowed to do it because their parents said no, and how would they feel that the pastor's daughter is running? But it was never.
Then enter the grandkids.
Right? Yeah, like rolling around, going crazy. But I just mean there was never this sense of I don't know the way he would say it. It never felt like that he was trying to put on this air or this like let's look a certain way. It was always truly from a heart of. This would just make it easier on me if we waited to run around. You can run around outside.
And it wasn't for our own image. It was for like the sake of someone else.
Right.
Yeah.
Like in that example you just did, it was like, well, little Johnny can't run around. So like, you also wait with little John. Whatever.
Little Johnny didn't stay at the church for long. Yeah.
As opposed,
I don't know him.
I don't know.
I don't know him either. I don't know what happened to him.
we didn't know a little Johnny.
Out of all the names, no. So let's go with his namesake. Now you have.
We gave you some time.
So no, I mean, I would say everything that they said from the home life was exactly the same. I mean, it wasn't any type of he never put pressure on me as like you're my son. This is what it needs to look like. I'm the pastor. You need to do. I think my experience came more from, and I don't also want to. I don't want to paint when I say a manual. Even the members at that time. It wasn't like it was a large amount, but it started, the church also, like everyone at my school knew who my dad was.
Yeah.
He had been in the school, been involved. And I'll be honest, it probably was a lot more of the school than it was church. But once I started getting, middle school age, that's when the comments started coming out of, oh, your dad would be so disappointed in you. Or once I started getting older, your dad would never do this. High school was tough because it was very much comparison, which I know he didn't like that people would be saying that to me. So early on, there was I would say because I was more of an anxious kid, worrying, there became more of a defensiveness then of like, oh, well, everyone just wants me to be like him. But then it was this expectation of he never put that on me. So then I realized it's really inner me that's just saying, oh, I got to be just like him. But he never wanted that. It was more just the outside.
So with it, did you guys put pressure on yourselves or no, that wasn't a thing?
I would say it worked at times in the opposite of that's when I then just started following other, whether it was teenage guys in the, like whether a youth group, it was started to kind of follow them. But then I was also the kid that the moment I got in trouble, I'm like, well, I'm not going to get in trouble anymore. Forget that. I didn't pride myself in the trouble.
You weren't just like
well, nobody really thinks of you as
the trouble. No one does. No one looks and goes, oh,
I mean, I might.
He needs a leather jacket.
Well, you do need a leather jacket.
I do.
Yeah, we got to toughen you up a little bit.
Let's hint to Katrina, buy me a leather jacket.
Yeah.
I also just want to make a mention. I don't know if I'd be more popular on the podcast for my dad or for Katrina.
Yeah.
Well, that's just the podcast. I mean, nobody knows her in church.
No.
I was kidding. Man, you guys are tough.
We will defend. We will defend her.
Okay, defend her. No, I'm just kidding. So about now staying at the church. All three of you are at the church still.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is that a difficult? Because now it's not even go with your father. Let's go with your entire family. Your grandparents were there. Your everybody, aunts, uncles, everybody. I mean, that's a
Well, we know that if we go, we get treated to Maritz's lunch afterwards. So
is that really all it is? It's just for food?
I'm completely kidding.
No, I actually it's funny. Nate
I am completely kidding.
Yes, we don't. No, I think part of it is for me. Well, Nate also grew up at the church, so there's something there for him too.
Nate is Deanna's husband.
Nate is my husband. Yeah. But his parents are there.
Yes.
But I would say that I think that there is something about going to a church and putting something into the church. I feel like it's so easy to see a church as not disposable, but like one particular church to be able to go, okay, well, I could go here. If something happens here, I'll just pick up and leave and go there. If you're not putting anything into it. And I think that was something that he and I talked about, I want to say when we first got married, that sense of like, well, why are we at Emmanuel? Like, are we at Emmanuel because my dad is the pastor, or are we at Emmanuel because this is our church and this is where we want to be in our community and for both of us, I think we felt, well, we've already put something into this just by growing up here. I know all these people. So many of them are family, and this is where, but I know that for him, that was a moment where he was kind of like, all right, moving into leading the worship. And for myself, just being there to support him in that. And then started heading up the nursery. And
Oh, it's great.
No, I just meant like.
Now let's hear how great Deanna is.
You got involved.
No,
like
no,
he's
that
like,
wasn't
you got
fine.
involved.
I wasn't trying to say that.
I was joking.
No, in fact, my hesitation was because I
Yeah, you don't want to say it, and it's okay.
yeah.
It's just
ready
it's,
to pass the baton.
I'm ready to pass the baton.
So if anyone
is
is
interesting in heading up nursery, no, I like doing it. My kids are not in nursery anymore, and I feel like I should be serving where they are. But that's besides the point. Anyway,
but that's let's go to that. I mean, this is conversational. That's what I love about the podcast.
No.
We can literally bounce around and we can come back to it. But I was the same way. Like when my kids were going through the nursery.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you want to hear some fun stuff? Here we go. Let's go Emmanuel hardcore. So when Ethan was in the 2s and 3s, I went in there one Sunday and it was all old ladies. And it's old ladies. I don't care. I mean, I might get some heat for it, but whatever. They're not around anymore. And during the 2s and 3s, they had a 15-minute time where the kids had their heads on the table for rest time. Now, the church only went from 11 to 12.
Oh, my goodness.
And they had snack time, the little flannel graph time. Where
yes, flannel graph still, that's still solid.
And it is.
That'll never retire.
It shouldn't.
No.
It shouldn't. But they had a 15-minute, and we were like, what are the kids doing? And they're like, they need a rest. They're like, well, they just had a nap. They're 2 and 3. They had a nap at 10:30.
Yeah.
They got here, and now
you're going to throw off,
and then we're going to have
afterwards.
Lunch, and then probably go down for a nap. You're total. Every other day it goes the same way. So eventually it got changed, and that was fun.
We got rid of the nap.
we ditched the nap.
But
15-minute nap.
it was crazy.
I'm surprised the kids even did it.
Well,
I know.
just
We
the
just sit
laying
there
on
and
the,
Imagine.
their heads on
it
the
was just a
table.
round wooden table.
Right.
I
It
can't even
was.
imagine
I was
Claire
like,
doing that.
No.
What are you doing?
Picture the twins doing that.
Get this anyway. So we can go back to So we followed the kids and we went in there and we had some fun and the kids. I mean, I don't really. Your kids are awesome. I love each one of your kids actually. Like there's not one kid.
There's not one you don't like.
You don't like one of them.
I mean, I'm not going to say which one. Just there's one that
Just
I really
one.
could. No,
I could do without.
no. But I don't like kids.
There you go.
I'm not a kid person. I like my kids.
Yeah.
Sure.
Your
fair
kids
enough.
are cool. You guys did well. So
Oh,
you're all great parents. So I will give you guys
Wow.
props on that.
That's good to hear,
No.
considering even that they run wild at the end of the
But
day.
who cares?
Right.
Like,
I mean, I don't.
That means
but
it's their
as long
church.
as they're not
Right.
distracting
To me,
anything.
Yeah, they're not doing it during the
Right,
sermon.
right.
Well,
Right.
yeah,
And they're not tearing anything
and they're
apart.
not like
right?
tearing anything.
The
down.
only thing I can say that I dislike about you guys as parents that you guys sit up in that front or second row.
Don't say it.
And then I'm doing the cameras, and then you got to
Oh, I
walk
know.
right in front, and then you do it in
It's
front.
when
I
you
do it
walk
on
in like-
technically
yeah.
now.
You do.
Oh, I do.
And you slow your head
The one,
down. And
the
you're
one
just like,
Sunday, the one Sunday with the countdown, I literally went on my tippy toes with my head.
Stop.
it's
Just once.
awful. It's awful.
Just once.
well, now you will know.
I know.
So when you guys are watching the live stream and you happen to go,
Everyone go down the middle aisle.
Yeah. No, don't go down the middle aisle. There's other aisles. If there wasn't, I could understand it, but it's like literally. And Steve Entwistle did it this last
He did it,
Sunday.
right? He tried
And
to
then
make
your-
it.
and
He
then
tried to
your
make it.
dad
And my
called
dad
him
pointed
on
him out.
And I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh, is that what that was? Because
Steve
I
tried
actually
to
had to
get
watch the
through.
live
He
stream,
was- he
and
started
it begins
fast
with him
walking.
saying like, "Steve, you almost missed something," and I thought, "What is he referencing?"
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, there. So we did go off subject.
We
So
did,
there we
that's
go.
okay.
That's right.
But I think I was going to say, I think that when it comes to going, like attending Emmanuel, I mean, Deanna and Natalie both went away to college.
Yeah, we had other
But
college experience, other church experience.
I think out of the three of us, I was probably the only one that stopped going to church for a little bit and then tried to then look at other churches, which to the encouragement of my dad, who was saying, and
Get
that,
out of here.
well,
He was
no,
fine with
and
it,
that's
but-
kind of even more not to just try to make it look like he's amazing, but it is that idea of even being the pastor of Emmanuel, I wasn't going, I was living in his house. And while he was trying to encourage me to keep my relationship with the Lord, where at the time it was a rough patch for me, that I
Right.
was definitely, not sure what I was believing in, what I wanted to. his encouragement was go try other churches.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're not getting it here, go try other churches.
And what kind of churches did you try? Like,
well,
I went to it's not Fellowship Community, and Pastor Wiley at the time was Willie. Wiley.
It's Willie.
It's Willie.
Wiley's a different
Wiley's
place.
a different place.
Yeah.
No,
I don't think there's a pastor there.
No, there's not.
God.
Was
there's
really
a church too, right?
Great. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
But it's not Pastor Wiley.
Well, right.
I mean, he'd probably be dead.
Yeah, probably.
God. Anyway.
For a while. But but it was one of those where, and I had friends there and everything like that, but it just wasn't I'll say, I shouldn't say it wasn't the same. Really what it was at the time, my heart was not looking to build the relationship with the Lord, and instead was using it as a way of me acting like, see, I've tried, it's failed. I don't know what I want.
Well, one thing I was going to, we obviously can't speak for every pastor's children.
Right.
We can only speak for our experience. So I feel like I want to make a mention of that I think something that kept us in the church was the genuineness that what you just mentioned. I don't think at any point our dad pushed Emmanuel. It wasn't about his church, that church. It's always been about our relationship with Jesus. So I feel like even what you just mentioned, it never would have been, there's no pressure to keep coming to Emmanuel. It was just this idea of okay, but where's your heart with Jesus? I think that mattered more, that if it was, you know what, we feel stronger at this other church, I don't even think it wouldn't be a point of tension. It would be, if that's where you feel the Lord, if that's where the Lord's leading you, then great. I want you closest to him, not, oh, you have to be at Emmanuel.
And I think he's probably said that to all of us.
Yeah.
I mean, even Nate and I as a couple, he has said, oh, I don't want you to feel like you have to come to Emmanuel. And I guess that was kind of what I was bouncing off of before, was just that sense of, I think we even kind of thought about, why are we, why is this where we want? Are we only here because my dad is the pastor? And, we think we found, no, we're not. There's, but then also that sense of, okay, well, if that's not the case, we're then claiming the church as our own. And so for whatever happens with him, in years to come, if he ends up retiring, whatever, down the road, it would still be our church. And I feel very strongly about that. It's not just him, it is Emmanuel is our church, and that's where we want to be. And
right, because he always portrayed it as, besides the fact of saying and then obviously clearly I'm at Emmanuel, so I came back. But
oh, hey Vince,
hey, I'm here. But once I really found my way back and things like that, even once I got married to Katrina, the encouragement was, hey, you don't have, if you guys want to try somewhere else, you can. But
especially in marriage.
I
feel once we each got married,
marriage.
it was your spouse might not want to be here, and that's okay.
But it's and I think most people that know him know this, so it's not a surprising thing for us to say, but it's that, like we already touched on, him when he was home was the same person he was in church. And also the reason for the success is, when I say success, the way God used him is the humble heart of, we had to the point in the deacon meetings where we'd have to tell him, stop. He will every time say, if you feel like the Lord isn't using me anymore, tell me, and that'll be the, and it's no, he's still using you. Just,
do you know how many times I've heard that from him?
I know. It's always if I'm not being used, and while it's it's, for me, it's Dad, come on. You just is such a sign of the humble heart of if I'm not being used, I don't want to do that.
Right.
I don't want to do this.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's shift gears a little bit, because I know this is about pastors' kids and all that stuff, but we're going to talk about your mother. Is a great mom, and she really, raised you. So let's go with, who do you feel you're more like? Do you feel you're more like
who you're more like?
Yeah, are you more like
just
your
an
mother?
Ever question that just
I don't know. I think I'm probably a mix of the both of them in a lot of ways.
But moms, I would say it's funny.
Because she's very supportive of him.
Oh, yeah.
She's
yeah.
always been supportive.
She'll
honestly,
be his biggest defender.
And honestly,
too.
like,
Yeah.
And that's where I feel like
it's
That's what Deanna's like her
it's
the
funny
most.
because
Deanna will jump on the defend train for the people.
for the people I care about. Yeah.
And our mom, there's.
Can I? Do you think I can tell
I
the
was going to say,
station
do you
wagon
think you could tell that story?
I'm going to tell it.
Yeah,
Tell it.
why not? He's
If you
probably
need me
gone.
to-
If we
If you
need
need
to
me to
edit
edit
it
out, I'm not going to.
Perfect. Yes. If we need you to edit out, just play it on repeat over
And if
over.
you need the actual name,
I'm not going to
names.
give. I'm not going to give names.
Oh,
So
this
this
is
was
good.
at Faith.
And not
so
even
this
our
is good.
church.
No,
This
it's not
was-
at our
Say
church.
what church it was.
Oh, well,
Well, everyone knows what the other.
If it wasn't Emmanuel,
I'll be honest. We all know where he was at, and to be honest, the church is completely different at this
Yeah,
point than what it
completely
was now.
I mean, that was 30 some years ago.
Yeah.
We would hope
Everybody's
it would be a
dead.
little
Yeah,
different.
if it wasn't.
That's where you leave the dark. That's where you leave the dark comment where you say everybody's
They all
dead.
died.
We made sure of it.
Okay, here we go.
We're
Let's go the story.
Please
Look into that camera. No.
Yeah.
Guys, let's
So-
go to the story.
So my dad, it was, and honestly, I thought Dad was. I didn't know how it was connected. I thought he was going to start telling the story last Sunday when he was talking about.
A couple Sundays ago,
Yeah.
Well,
we
whatever.
record ahead of time.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That's right.
Yeah.
I threw it off.
No. So a couple
So
Sundays ago.
we were about ready to go on vacation, and by us, I think
it was just you and I.
it was
I
just
wasn't
us. He
around.
was a baby,
Yeah.
and my dad had put together on our station wagon a roof rack,
Okay. Like one of those turtle things?
similar. It was a wooden.
You're whispering and
No, I'm sorry.
YouTube is
Yeah,
just watching you.
No,
So it was a wooden roof rack he had made.
Cool.
And when he was then, there was I don't know if you say at the time, a elder, deacon, whatever. There was someone there that was not super respectful to my father.
No.
He liked to do things that were
Put him down.
put him down. This man is no longer living, so it's okay to be.
Oh, I didn't know if he was. All right.
No. Like there were,
Look at me, I
there were
wasn't
things
around.
where,
I'm like,
there were things where he would,
Yeah.
there were things,
Like,
there
I
was
remember
things
at the
where
time.
someone might think it's okay, like a noogie in the middle, like when he's greeting people.
No,
and
no one would think that's okay.
no, I meant,
No adult.
Yeah.
right. Anyway,
Anyways,
Bill's like noogie.
I know
I
what
got
I'm
it.
doing next week.
So anyway, this certain person, as we were getting ready to leave and getting in the car, it was at the end of church. Everyone was coming out of church. We were leaving right after. He started pointing and saying, "Oh, look, Pastor Vince, he can't even put a roof rack on. It's backwards. He can't even he doesn't even know how to do that." And my dad was like, "We're just leaving." And my mom said, No. She got out of the car and "You are not half the man that my husband is." And my dad's going, "Greta, get in the car."
He's
Get
like
in the car.
calling her
Get in the
back.
car. Get in the car. And she's going, "You are nothing compared to it." So he pulls her in and we
Right?
Yeah.
drive off.
Good for her.
Yeah, I love your mom.
Oh, she's
Yeah.
fantastic.
It's great.
And honestly, my feeling too is like, I was just talking to Katrina about this, and I want to make sure I word it correctly. I feel like moms are one of those where whether you're a girl or a boy, I feel like growing up. No, I just mean it's not it's not a mom is only one thing. Holy cow. What I mean is as a kid.
we'll be back.
We'll be back to it. As a kid or even as a teenager, the more you grow up there, I think it's very easy to have this aspect of, oh, dad was easier. Mom was tougher. Especially my mom was a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah, right.
Then you have kids, and at our kids, 6, 4, and 2, like Katrina and I were just talking about, I'm like, my mom wasn't tough at all.
Yeah.
It just was annoyed that we were brats. I'm like, now I'm like, the things that she was saying to us, it's like at the time I remember like little things of like, oh, she would get so frustrated if we didn't eat dinner.
Yeah.
Now
Oh my gosh,
now I
now.
have kids and I'm like, she could have smacked us across the face that we didn't eat her dinner that she made us.
Not-
and
Well,
No,
maybe
not-
maybe
maybe
not
not
smack.
Maybe not
Maybe
smack.
not
Maybe
smack.
not smack.
But
no, we don't think about some. No,
Not
no,
across
no,
the
not
face.
smack.
Not
Not
across
smack.
the- Yeah.
So before we go to break,
Talk strongly.
Yes.
before we go to break, we're
No,
just
just
going to
a-
make sure that, if there's a Chick-fil-A sandwich that your mom worked hard on making you your lunch, you're not going to just throw it. We don't know.
Peanut butter and jelly.
He wanted the
I wanted
Chick-fil-A
the
sandwich,
the Chick-fil-A sandwich.
but instead he
Instead.
threw your, How
That's
would you handle it if your kids, how, would you handle it like your father did and your mother?
Well, my mom handled it well in that
the fact that she drove another sandwich to the school.
She was dedicated.
Like that is dedication.
Right. She was
because they were ready.
The
school was ready to just buy me Chick-fil-A.
Good for
and
them.
she was like, no, I'm bringing
no,
this.
I'll bring it.
I packed it. Yeah, right.
I know I packed it. And I remember thinking, I'm going to get Chick-fil-A. My dad, though, he wasn't like upset. He wasn't, but at the same time, as a dad, I don't know how I wouldn't not laugh a little bit. That
I mean, you like dug in. Yeah.
So we're going to take a break. We will be back, and we will be talking with PV's PKs. See, I came up with that. It was actually while you were talking, I was like, you know what? That's not bad.
That's what I'll say.
We'll be right back.
Welcome to Emmanuel Baptist Church, where our focus has been building strong lives in Jesus Christ since 1925, right here in Maple Shade, New Jersey. With 2 Sunday services at 9 a.m. and 11 a.m., you can choose the time that works best for you. And if you have children, our Greenhouse Kids Ministry and Nursery are available during the 11 a.m. service, so you can worship without distractions. But that's not all. On Sunday mornings at 10 a.m., we offer Sunday school classes for all ages. And if you're looking for a midweek pick-me-up, we have a variety of events on Wednesday nights. For more information on all of our programs and events, visit our website at ibclife.org. Follow us on social media and check out our weekly bulletin. And there's one more way to stay connected with us. Download our Church Center app. With this convenient app, you can stay up to date on all of our events and register for programs. Emmanuel Baptist Church, building strong lives in Jesus Christ.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Hopefully you enjoyed that commercial. Or you didn't have to enjoy it. I don't really care. You might have fast forwarded through it. It doesn't matter to me. So, welcome. I hope you follow, subscribe, like, do all that fun stuff. But anyway, I am talking with the pastor's kids of Emmanuel Baptist Church. So we got Vince, Natalie, and Deanna. And not in that, well, it was in that order, but that's not how they were born. Anyway, we were talking about how awesome Greta is and,
Yes.
you know, Wonder Woman over here standing up for her husband. So good for her. But kind of wanted to get into like your testimonies and kind of how were you saved? Was it pushed strong at the house? Like you got to be saved when you're real young, but let's go with your testimonies. And I don't care which one of you talks first because I'm going to stop talking right now. Go. And dead air. So here we go.
Try again.
I think that sometimes like growing up in the church as a kid, I always thought to myself like, oh, I don't have a great, like to say I don't have a great testimony, but that in itself is a silly sentence because the testimony ultimately is the same for everyone. This is salvation. But I feel like it's hard for me. This probably isn't going to sound great, but I feel like it's hard to pinpoint an exact. I have a moment in my head, and it was actually with my mom, and we were at I want to say it was like a Sight and Sound, but I don't even know. It was some sort of play. Were you there?
I remember this. Yeah.
And it was of Jesus on the cross, but the scene itself, I remember a voice coming out. Hold on. They announced that I heard a voice.
Natalie.
No, they
This
announced.
is the
They announced during like the crucifixion part that it was going to be a little scary, I think.
Yeah.
And so they were like, if you have there were
lights
flashing lights, and if you have young eyes. And I remember like then not paying a ton of it. Not like I wasn't paying attention, but I was like, it's fuzzy, but not exactly like I was shielded from it. But I was with my mom, and I remember her taking that moment to talk to me about salvation and her praying with me, and that being like a moment of, you know, asking the Lord to forgive me of my sins, and, you know, the way you worded as a kid, asking Jesus to come into your heart.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I was also an anxious kid, and my father's daughter, who he would say this too, probably. Like, I remember growing up then having moments where I'd be like, did it really work? Dear Jesus, please forgive me my sins. Like, because, you just don't, you're just a kid, and I didn't fully, like, I understood it, but I still would be like, oh, I really want it to work. Like, as if I kept thinking I was too young. So I can remember multiple times praying it over and over and over. And that's just kind of, at some point you're like, you come to terms. Even though I would say it's still a valid prayer to keep praying, asking for forgiveness, but I don't do it in the same manner as I did as a panicked child.
Yeah. It's funny because I remember that
Do you
show.
remember that? Yeah.
And while I guess Mom was talking to you, right after they have like the crucifixion scene, I don't remember where we were while we were like, what
I don't
we
even know
went
what was
to.
happening. Yeah.
But right after they show Jesus going into hell, which I guess was
Maybe that was the
because he
part.
did. But
that
the
was supposed to be
hell
scary.
was like dark, and there were I guess they were supposed to be like demons, but they were like on roller skates and they wore like neon clothes, and they're doing this like dance around while Jesus is like getting through and getting the
Where
keys.
was I during that?
I don't know, but
This
I
sounds
different
like the
memory of
greatest.
it.
funny. It's so funny because she said like, and I just remember my dad turning to me and being
Was
like,
he even there?
yes, because I remember him looking at me and going, "This is not what it was like."
After I finish doing Midwest Evening and I don't do any more of that, I'm doing this play.
This is going to be your final play.
This is it. I'm doing it.
Neon and roller skates.
Neon roller skates.
They're
Jesus.
rolling
Yeah.
around, and he's like, ducking and weaving while they're like lifting their legs and like.
If you are not watching this on YouTube, please
Yeah.
go on YouTube and watch
could not
Deanna.
have
This
been-
is great.
This was not sight and sound then.
No, I don't know. That was not.
There's no way that was sight and sound.
This was Camden. You guys were on crystal meth. I hate to tell you, it was a real bad time
Maybe
in your
that's why
life.
it was all fuzzy.
It was all fuzzy. We have like bloodshot eyes and stuff.
Wow. Okay. I should put a disclaimer out like your father would do. Like, we're not joking about this. We're very serious. But,
Right.
we want to make sure that everybody knows that we're just having a little fun here. Okay. So, Deanna, do you remember you being saved or?
No. I would say I don't remember the moment that I like. I mean, I remember my dad saying, you sat down with me. I talked to you about it. You gave your life to Christ. But I don't have I don't remember it in my mind. I feel like every kid has a very similar story to
if you get
praying it like 8,000 times. But I do feel like testimony it's when you don't have that kind of defining moment of
Right.
the before and the after.
Right.
I feel like it is just an ever evolving thing.
Mm-hmm.
It just continues to become more and to grow as you grow in your relationship with the Lord.
And just naturally as you get older, there's just depth.
I would say, I would say my testimony comes more as I got older, and then my relationship with the Lord became my relationship with the Lord,
Right.
and not the relationship between the Lord, my parents, and me. Like
right. Exactly.
that
it was
sense
real
that they
to you.
Right. Like, and I
Definitely.
think that there is that buffer that's supposed to be there as like a parent, that your children are trusting you,
Right.
and therefore they're trusting in what you're telling them, because I'm not necessarily I don't have the capacity as a child to understand, the way the Lord is working in my life. And so,
and they're supposed to be the picture of God's love to you. Like, as a kid, you can only comprehend so much that your parents are supposed to be that picture of love that you then look to as the example. And so I feel like that was just natural for us as kids. I mean, I would say the same thing. I feel like getting older and my relationship instead of me talking to my parents about issues, now turning to the Lord first has been just huge in growing with the Lord. But in a way, like you said, I think some of that's just natural when you have parents who are like a Christian leader for you.
Okay. And now we'll hop over to Brother Bear over here.
Brother Bear.
Hey, buddy.
Hey.
So, do you remember yours, or is it kind of similar?
I I would say similar. Mine, yeah. I mean, it's like that story of 6 years old getting saved. I think most of my testimony was pretty wrapped up in, I would say, anxiety. In the most part, that's what kind of I want to say God used, but also led me to like, and like they said, it's very similar, and I don't want to make it sound negative because I think it is true, but I think beyond just childhood, I also lived through my dad's love for the Lord, but didn't grow it. And I think that was through diving in, like I said, when I kind of walked away from the Lord, it was realizing I was more attached to my parents, that I didn't have any real, like, I wasn't reading my Bible. I didn't have a personal relationship with him. So I could feel, now knowing it, at the times, the feelings I was having, he was putting things in my life to try to have a relationship with me. I was more resistant with just that mindset of, like, I can even remember thinking, like, even in like graduating high school, sitting there thinking, well, if something ever happened to my dad, I don't think I ever could forgive the Lord. Like that would be it. That's my connection to the Lord, is him. If he took him away, but that also led to a lot of anxiety. I did not enjoy going away to Christian camps. I did not enjoy going away to those things because I had anxiety that if I was gone, something was going to happen to my parents. I don't know why.
Really? That's the only reason I went. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I love my mom. God.
But I think then from there, a lot of it was then anxiety. But again, I think there was so much of my testimony that God was building that was in my head. I had built when I said defense, I didn't feel like many people were seeing me for me. So internally, I started pumping myself up and started building this thought of, this is who I am. Look at me. So then there were times where there were issues where I was just, I had such a negative outlook that it was like, well, I got to do this for me. This is what I want to do. And that was something I had to really break down later on, because it kind of built I'll say, destructive mentality, because I was so defensive when anybody would then say anything, even if it was try to be helpful or critiquing. It was just, I was so defensive in that mindset of, you can't tell me what I should be doing. And I think it took a lot. It took from, like I said, I being that I was anxious, being that I was very, nervous. I remember in my 20s trying to go on dates with Christian girls. And if something didn't work out or they weren't interested, then it was like, you know what, Lord, forget it. I'm going to just start dating girls that don't prioritize you. And then I'll say that's when things started going downhill, more so because once, you're chasing after somebody that's not chasing after the Lord, it's kind of hard to keep yourself up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say we almost had an opposite in that, like, I felt like I started coming to a point of, am I upholding these values because of my parents? Like, I so much don't want to disappoint them. So am I upholding values because of my parents or because I believe in these values? So, like, do I do the right thing? Do I go to church? Do I do this stuff because I know that even though they wouldn't be like, we're disappointed, and they would be disappointed if I started, like, stop not showing up to church or not coming. And maybe part of that was just the fact that I was the second child. So watching him go through that, then feeling like I'm seeing how they're responding to that, and then feeling like, okay, well, I need to show up, and I need to be this and that. And then having almost coming to the realization of, am I doing this for them, or am I doing this because I'm cultivating a relationship with the Lord? Am I doing this because I feel the Lord, speaking to me and calling for me and drawing me closer to him? Or am I doing it to continue to foster a relationship with my parents? And I think that was almost, it's for everything that is great about Dad, there's almost that, like, switch of, then I so much wanted his approval, which he was always willing to give. It wasn't like I had to like,
yeah, it wasn't like chasing after.
But we even talked about how it was like when I went away to college, when I, was not that almost that sense of like always knowing that I could go to my dad and talk to him about whatever. And then everything he said was always so on point with he was just such a great picture of Christ that it felt like he was there. Mm-hmm. Like the things he would say would be like, you're absolutely right. And so when my dad would say to me like, oh, Deanna, the Lord loves you. He just wants to wrap you in his arms right now. Whatever, if I felt like I did something wrong, if I was just feeling this or that, and hearing him say that, it felt like, and this is going to sound so like, I forget.
Blasphemous?
Yes. But it felt like felt like the Lord saying it. Like it felt like I could hold it and believe it is true and know that it was that's actually because it was. But then when he wasn't there, suddenly feeling like, why don't I feel like the Lord is here? Why don't I feel, because it's all a feeling, but why don't I feel the Lord so close? And as I got older, realizing, okay, but it's only because I had something that was actually tangible, and he's not here right now. That's why he's not God, because he's not everywhere. And so I have to...
Our dad.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Our dad. Yeah.
God is there.
God is there.
God is
but
everywhere.
That's what I mean. Like he's not everywhere. And I realizing like that relationship with Christ has to come just between he and I. And though my dad is such a great example and such a good guidance and this and that, realizing how that almost in some ways not set me, but I had to learn to realize, okay, he is here even if I don't feel he's here, and he loves me even if I don't feel like God. Yes.
Right.
I feel like I'm being clear.
No, you are. I'm sorry.
No, but even I wanted to. I wanted to add.
I knew
just
exactly
to that,
what you were saying,
because I think it is important for in the story is like in this is like when I'm explaining my testimony and we're talking about how Dad is so there for you, supportive. I think I want to include it as my testimony is one of the things that got me back was while he was so, trying to make things work, one of the biggest hits was, like I said, that selfishness I had was I was here at Emmanuel. I had known I got nominated to be a deacon because the person told me. And when I saw the nominations, I didn't see, when I saw the people on the bulletin, I didn't see my name. And I asked him and he said, well, I took you off. And in my head, I'm like, why? How could you do that? And he said, because Vince, you're not, I love you, but you're not living a life for the Lord. And I remember that was a moment where in the moment I was angry, but then as the weeks came, I'm like, he's such a man of the Lord. I needed that sternness to say, I'm here for you. I'm trying to, but there's a limit of, I'm not going to have, you aren't in a position to lead. And I think I needed that to realize I'm sitting here saying that everybody else hasn't been there for me, but it's like, but I want to be the one that's there for everyone else, because that's what he's always been. And I think that was what was so important was he was there and the one that was leading us. So it was like, that's what really hit me then was like, wait, I don't want to be the one that needs everybody else's approval.
Right.
Now, along with that, what I will say, I do like to say my word of advice. Well, no, my word of advice would be one of the biggest effects on my life was, I think it is, and it's taught me now as older, like I think we want to, especially in a Christian environment, be very careful about what we say, especially to, teenagers, things like that, because like I said, those comments affected me. And then not only that, I know it affected my sisters negatively, but they got comments from not as much church, but just, Christian individuals of people saying, oh, wow, you're nothing like your brother was. Yeah. And then it would be like, dang, man, like I can't catch it. I'm just thinking.
But you can now look at it as you are a deacon. So eventually you had to do something right to get on that.
Well, I mean, the reality too is when we're talking about testimony, and I don't want to take the whole thing up, but
please.
Obviously it was the reality was there was a very huge, once I came back to Emmanuel, and that was such a big part, and started just deciding, you know what, I'm not here to live like who's going to, because I had a big priority in wanting to be married, wanting to have kids. I wanted that. And it didn't look like it was happening. And it wasn't until I finally said to the Lord, you know what? If I'm not going to have it, I'm not going to have it, but I'm going to have you. And that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
And then in the moment that it was the moment I did that. Well, I should say the moment I did that, I met Katrina, but then she broke up with me. but it was even the answer of that was when we broke up, I think the old me would have said, you know what, forget it. But when she broke up with me at the time, it was like, Lord, I'm not going to turn away.
Yeah,
like,
you were in a different spot.
I'm just going to keep moving forward, and I'm not going to just go down a path here. And I think from there I grew. He really taught me so much that put me in a position for when we started talking again a year later. It was like, oh yeah, this is the time.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You guys are
it
cool.
was awesome.
Just saying.
I mean, cool.
I mean, 2 out of 3 aren't
2
bad.
out of 3.
But, you know, I mean, so, I've known you guys.
I'm like,
pretty
you
much.
aren't.
I wasn't saying I was as cool as your dad. Calm down there,
There
Greg.
is that, but I do think there is that, and you know what? Honestly, when we're talking about testimonies, obviously it doesn't ever stop. Like Deanna said,
for sure.
But I do think and it was amazing how Emmanuel circled around us. But it is one of those things where, like, at times, you know, you see the pastor's family, you see all of us. So when there isn't any, you know, big trials happening, it can look like, they're so happy because nothing else happened. So it was one of the big things for us was when Vivian was at CHOP.
Right.
And for the first 3 weeks, we didn't even know if she was going to live.
Right.
Yeah.
To see Emmanuel's response to us, and that it was beyond just, this is Pastor Vince's grandchild or his son and daughter-in-law. It was that really, Katrina already fell in love with Emmanuel, but that was what sealed the deal of we're never gonna, this is where we're at, and this is where we want to be.
Hold the church. I feel like that's another part of it too. Like, I'm grateful to our church because I don't ever feel like the whole church, well, I shouldn't say this because there probably are some people that have not felt this way, but generally I feel like the church tries to treat itself as a family.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree with that.
And I think I don't know, it made a difference that it made a difference that I think as a kid there wasn't that feeling of the pastor's family, which was healthy. I think it would be unhealthy to view it like, here they are.
Well, and also because it
Like,
wasn't
it
just
felt like
us, right? Like it was a family, almost dynamic.
Like,
so,
people not related to me,
right?
felt like family.
Felt like family. And so it wasn't just like, those are the pastor's kids. I mean, not only that, we had all of our cousins, and my Uncle Dan's up there when they had come back, and they, you know, so they were there, his kids. But then, like, I think of like Sammy. Now.
For sure.
Yeah. But like that, I mean, there were so many. I don't know why she's the one that just popped in my mind, but like, so many, because she's Sammy, you know.
This time.
But no, because there was
go back and listen to
go listen to the plug for Sammy's episode. No, but I mean, there were just so many kids that everybody knew because it was like a family dynamic. So I didn't ever feel like we were singled out as the pastor's kids, because it was like, but there's also these people's kids and these people's kids, and everybody knows all the kids. Like, it didn't feel like it was like everybody knows you, but all the other kids are like seen and not heard. Sense. Right. It felt like we were just all the kids, and it was a family dynamic.
And I feel like I also want to mention, I feel like we're just another pro for Emmanuel. Like, I just feel like the feeling of grace was like messing up, whether it's small or big, wasn't fatal. And I feel like that is huge too. Like,
absolutely,
just that there'd still be people that are still loving and there through it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is like a family. I mean,
is.
I'm like the dysfunctional whatever.
Uncle.
I am.
Well,
But we-
but I think, but I think the point of the family, and that's what I think is important is the point of a family and a body is you are going to have disagreements.
You
and
are.
it's how do you deal with those? Do you just decide I'm never talking to that person again, or is it hey, we don't have to fully agree, like what, or if there was something we did, let's talk through it. And I think that's kind of what, for the most part, Emmanuel has shown is there's been events where, people have hurt feelings, things like that. I do think that's one of the big things my dad has brought to Emmanuel is that mentality of we're the body of Christ.
Right.
And other pastors have done it in their churches. So I'm not just saying him, but that is one of the strengths of, hey, the church is built from the people. It's not built from me. It's built from the people. But yet through that, he's the one that's also bringing that mentality to and then encouraging it.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree.
And the weird uncle.
I'm just
Every
here.
family has one.
Yeah,
Kidding.
every podcast, I'm the most hated person anyway.
No.
Oh, you got to be kidding me. Yeah, oh, no. I am.
Oh,
and
like-
it's okay.
Oh,
I'm okay with it. I feed off of that. I love it.
Love it.
Like, it's
Right.
great. Yeah.
Is he on your shirt?
Yeah.
Nope.
What did we say?
No.
I was trying to hit on like the feel, the anger.
Oh,
the-
just a bill right on.
no, I meant
What the bill?
I was going nerdier. I meant the Emperor. I meant actually a
You were
Star Wars
comparing him to
character.
Palpatine.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
You're going deep. Yeah, I'm not like Palpatine. I don't.
There's no evil stirring in him. He's
No.
just.
People like, you know what? The podcast would be so much better without Bill.
But there wouldn't be a podcast.
But there wouldn't be a podcast. Well, that is true.
Yeah.
So, on that note, we're going to end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
No
They're
final
like
questions.
right now. They're like, oh, Bill ended it. We hate him.
this was going so well, but we want it to be the longest podcast.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, so I'll give you.
Are we
We'll
way
end
over
on
time?
this. No, we're not way over time, but we're right up against the.
We're up against it.
We're up against it.
So you don't have one final question for?
No, do you want to find a
No,
question?
No, what were you
Yeah.
gonna? I want to know what you were gonna end on.
No, I was going to end on. Well, I was just ending it, but now if you want it
Okay.
longer, I'll
No,
say
no.
is the podcast. Like, do you know where podcast came from? Originally, it was only on Apple, the iPod.
iPods.
They were only on
Oh.
iPods. You could only get podcasts on that, and so they would only have like 20 of them on there. And then eventually, it was like, oh yeah, we should start putting this on bigger markets, and it just
And now
worked
they're
out.
everywhere.
And
now
now
everyone's.
every middle-aged
every-
white guy has one.
And yeah.
so here we are. Anyway, on that note, I hope you liked this. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. Vince and Greta are the best, but so
Yeah.
are these kids, and so are their kids. So and their
And
their
so's
spouses,
Bill.
and so
And
am I.
so's
Even if you
Bill.
don't like
Even
me,
if you
you're the
don't like
weird
him.
uncle.
Yeah.
even if I am. So have fun, everybody. I'll see you next time. Can we end on that laugh?
That's fine.